Welcome to Zoomer Times TV. And here's your host, Anita Finley.
Hello, everybody. I'm Anita Finley, and I love to do these interviews on Zoomer Times because we have the best experts, the most fun people. We have people in entertainment, and that's what we have today. Justin Hare is the marketing director at the Lake Worth Playhouse, and he has some very exciting news for us. So go ahead, take it away, Justin.
Hi, Anita. Thanks for having us on again. It's always a pleasure. As you know, we are getting ready to launch our 69th season. And we actually just finished up our summer show of We Will Rock You. And I'll tell you, man, they packed the house for that show. We had so many people coming out of the woodworks to check it out, and they had such a great time. But, you know, the summer show isn't technically part of our main stage season. It's just a little, extra to hold you through. And we're kicking it off here. We've got a double feature coming up next weekend. We're doing a limited engagement, which is the Great American Trailer Park musical. And that's on our main stage. It's showing for 2 weeks from September 3rd through the 12th. And a little bit about the story. Okay, it takes place in Florida's most exclusive trailer park, the Armadillo Acres. And it's a story about a love triangle between these three people in the trailer park. And, it gets some downright dirty, raunchy, comical, Jerry Springer worthy confrontations. And the overall about the show is about rising above our impulses, our mistakes, and our surroundings to make the future what we believe we can, despite our pasts. So it's about overcoming the hardships in life and using all that to your advantage.
The whole name Trailer Park is so much fun because you can imagine what goes on there. And so the writer of this, and I see is there were let's see, how many, who was this? Book? It was a book, right?
Yeah, the book's by Betsy Kelso, and the music and lyrics are by David Nels.
And it sounds like it is raunchy.
Yes, a lot of laughs, a lot of adult humor, definitely a disclaimer. It's for mature audiences only.
Okay. Okay. But and how many people are in that cast? Just the three? No, it's got to have more.
No, in the cast we have for Trailer Park, there's about 7 total in the show. I'm actually working on the playbill now. I'm waiting for everybody to finish sending in their headshots and bios. But I believe there's about 7 cast members in that show.
Yeah, well, we have something famous here. Of course, Briny Breezes comes to mind when you said that.
Yes.
But if you want to call it a trailer park, it's a little bit more sophisticated.
The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Okay, so and in this, is there actually a trailer on stage? No.
There is. Well, it's not a real trailer, but you couldn't tell the difference, with the skills of our carpenters and technical directors, everything looks spot on. You can't tell the difference.
Yeah, you've always had very good set designers, I must say. And of course, for people who haven't been to the Lake Worth Playhouse, it would be a shame that you don't go to this, especially for this show. But it's an ancient, I'd say it's really an art place. It's a place that you want to go and just look around, look up, look down. It's been there for how many years now, Justin?
Since the 40s. So this is our 69th season this year. So we've been around a while.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, and I'm glad that they kept it. And for seating, are you separated? How does it? People ask me. So how do the seats go?
Well, they're doing social distancing. Seats are spread out, so we're putting some distance in between crowds. Obviously, people that come together, friends and family members that want to sit. We try to group them all together and space out the theater accordingly.
I see. So everything's really good. And the other thing about this is I have to just always give a plug for Lake Worth Playhouse. You always will be able to get drinks there, and you can get candy, and you can get treats, and you can literally take it into the theater.
You certainly can. We have concessions with water, sodas, snacks, even beer and wine. So feel free to come out and have a good time,
Yeah, and people do. And parking's all around Lake Worth. It's a wonderful avenue. You can park in the back of the theater. They have valet parking. I mean, I love that theater. The reason it's so good is this is not an equity theater. So you're getting people from all over South Florida to play, aren't you?
Yes, yep. It's a community theater, and they come from everywhere. During the pandemic, we had a lot of people that were down here from out of state that came and auditioned for some of the shows for We Will Rock You, Hedwig and the Angry Inch, Next to Normal. We saw a lot of new faces come out to auditions the past couple months.
Okay, well, that's good. All right. Well, I don't want to keep you from telling us about the big show coming.
All right. Well, secondly, and again, this is a double feature. They both open next Friday, run for 2 weeks. This is in the Black Box Theater next door in the Stontic Studio, which is our little intimate 60-seat theater where we do our independent films directly next to the theater. And this is The Shadow Box by Michael Christopher, our Black Box Theater production. It is a 1977 Pulitzer Prize winner for drama and also a 1977 Tony Award winner for the best play. And, this is a wonderful, wonderful little black box presentation. And just to give you the synopsis real briefly, Joe, Brian, and Felicity come from different walks of life, different parts of the country, and are in different stages of accepting things they have in common. And they're all dying of cancer. They're all living out their final days in company with friends and family in a homey hospice cottage in the green and pleasant grounds of a large California hospital. So this is a story about those who are terminally ill, who are trying to live out their best days and, use the hope and the will and the comfort of each other to make it through these hard and pressing times.
So I have to assume there are no laughs in this one.
Very heart-touching story. It hits close to home for a lot of us. And, it's like I said, it's won multiple awards, Pulitzers, Tony Awards. It's just a fantastic overall play. And I strongly urge everybody to come out and see it. Again, it plays the same time as the Trailer Park, except next door in the Stonzik Theater.
Okay, but what about the you do shows on Sundays too? I know.
We do. We've got a 2:00 matinee on Sundays. The shows now are running Fridays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m.
Okay, so that sounds interesting. The Shadow Box. Wow, and that's actually a film.
No, it's a play.
But you said it was a film.
No, it won the Pulitzer Prize for Best Drama and for Best Play.
I see. I understand. So you have, and how many people are in that?
There's in the Shadow Box. Let me see. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 cast members. Really?
I didn't think it's an intimate stage though, but you really are right there to hear and see them.
Yes, absolutely.
That's great. Okay, so we have that going, and then we have, of course, the Great American Trailer Park. Well, the Black Box. But what else do you do in there? You do other things, I know.
Oh, in the Black Box, we do some concerts sometimes. We've got people that come in and do side shows. We do the independent films, which also run Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We do foreign independent films and documentaries. And then,
that's where I was confused, because I know that's where you do films.
Yes, but it also doubles as our Black Box Theater. So we do the films in there and the Black Box, and a lot of the children's productions go on that stage as well.
So, it's amazing that you have, during this time, all this wonderful entertainment that you're keeping up. I really have to applaud you. Yay. I mean, it's a lot to do that. Justin Hare is the marketing director. And I know that he's been a little bit sick and now he's back, but I think there's a lot of esprit de corps there, a lot of compassion and people that your volunteers are always so nice, so kind.
Yes, forever grateful for all the volunteers. Without them, we couldn't make it happen. Those that help us out in the taking the tickets and the ushers, the carpenters, the stage crew. I mean, you name it, we've got helping hands on all corners of the Playhouse at any given time. And we truly appreciate each and every one of you that volunteers for us.
Yeah. And I know in one of our previous conversations, I remember you told me, because I asked you, have you ever been in a play? And you said, I don't think you have, but that's a goal you have one day.
Yeah, well, back in school, I did a couple of school performances, but I don't think that accounts for the level of professionalism that goes on at the theater. You know, I'm still trying to brush up around the edges and, you know, get a little coaching.
Well, you're good looking. I think I could see you in one of those parts. You'll have to, you know, you put a little hat on something and you can be anybody in it. So, yeah, you can have one line or something.
Yeah, and also, Anita, I just wanted to mention for you, I gave you an overview of the 2 shows that we have coming up next week, but I just want to let you know that we've got our first main stage production opening October 8th, which is Peter and the Starcatcher.
Yes.
Again, you know, this is going to be another fabulous play. This is a grown-up version of Peter Pan, the classical story of Peter Pan. And again, this is another Tony Award-winning play. Peter and the Starcatcher upends the century-old story of how a miserable orphan comes to the boy who could not grow up, Peter Pan, a wildly theatrical adaptation of David Barry and Ridley Pearson's best-selling novels. And, you know, everybody knows the story of Peter Pan, and, you know, it's a classic. And my kids recently just saw the original for the first time, and they loved it. They want Tinkerbell this and Tinkerbell that. And, you know, it's, even though this one's more of a grown-up version, you know, it's still fun for everybody.
Right, Starcatcher, huh? The last part of that. What? And so, what's the whole name?
Peter and the Starcatcher.
Peter and the Starcatcher. That's a great name. And, you know, I was curious, you get all these great plays there. Do you have to pay a lot, or because you're not an equity theater, do you get a better price?
Well, I'm not sure the difference in pricing between us and some of the other theaters. You know, I guess that they're just the normal rates that they charge for the playwrights, you know, and they are a pretty penny. So it takes a lot to, you know, not only get the rights to put these shows on, but the time that it takes for developing and doing the set and everything else. You know, there's a lot that's put together to make these shows happen.
The reason I ask is because your ticket prices are very inexpensive. Most of the time, I think they're like $35 or $45, or not much.
Yeah, $35 is the general admission price for the tickets. And then on opening nights, they're a little more. Obviously, we do a champagne reception, and, you know, it's a little more elegance for the opening night than any normal night. But the prices are very reasonable, and we strive to make sure that it's affordable for everybody to come out and see the performances that we do.
That's really wonderful. I've said that because, you know, we have a lot of theater here in, thank goodness, in Palm Beach and Broward now, but they're a lot more expensive. And here's a way for you to go see a first-class performance and not even have to pay for parking, because there's plenty of parking around. And you get to see a wonderful show, and you get to support the Playhouse, the Lake Worth Playhouse that's been there for so long. How long have you actually been there at the Playhouse, Justin?
This is my 4th season at the Playhouse now. So I've been there for the past 4 seasons. I came aboard, I took over for our old marketing director, Nicole. And, you know, I love the team. I love working with everybody. And I feel like we're one big family. And, you know, it's just a great place to be.
And where were you before?
I was working independently. I did a little bit of web design and IT work and marketing. You know, the kids were little, and I was a stay-at-home dad and operated my own business. And once they reached school age, I was ready to get back into an office setting and get out of the house a little bit.
Well, now I know why your ads are so good, because that was something that you were doing before this.
Yep. Yeah, I've been in the web and graphics industry for about the past 12 years now. I've been doing that stuff.
When they first started, actually, even on the web, that's it's been a long time.
Yep.
So some of the other shows coming up, and I know we won't it's a secret yet. We'll be putting some of them in an ad. But your artistic director, Stephanie, who is really good, she somehow finds the best shows. Don't you actually ask a lot of your patrons at one point, what would you like to see?
Yes, we do. We actually do an audience survey each year. And, it's tough because not only are we trying to make sure that we're putting on performance that people want to see and are going to enjoy, but, you have to understand that a lot of the rights to these shows aren't readily available. Some of them are on tour. Some of them are performing regionally, locally, might be down in Broward or maybe up in St. Augustine or somewhere locally, what they consider to be locally enough that they can't give those rights out to another theater within a certain amount of time. So we do our very best to give the audience what they want. So we always come up with usually about 8 musicals and 8 plays in a list to choose from that we're given access to the rights for that time period. And we do a survey and basically tally up the best results. And that's usually how we pick the shows for that season.
And see what you can get. So now everybody get your pencils out because I want to give you a phone number to order your tickets. You're going to call 561-586-6410. Go ahead, 586-6410. And if you want to get online so that you can see a lot of what we've been talking about, go to lakeworthplayhouse.org, lakeworthplayhouse.org. It's one thing I have to share with you, that theater and the entertainment, the arts, they all struggle, and they have been struggling a lot during this COVID. So if you can go and you can support them, it would really be appreciated. And the Lake Worth Playhouse, as I said, it's not very expensive. Everybody works there. It's a community theater as compared to these big equity theaters. So everybody's kind of like a team. I'm calling it a love fest. When you go there, I mean, the Rock, the one that just passed, You Will Rock, I saw what was it called? Not you.
We Will Rock You.
Yeah. The music was fabulous, absolutely fabulous. I saw it on YouTube, and I mean, and the people were having so much fun. You had a big cast in that.
Yeah, it was a terrific show. We had a lot of people come out for that one. And Anita, I just wanted to mention one more thing to you as we were talking about the affordability of our theater tickets. Several times throughout the year, we do offer some free events. We do a lot of outreach programs with some of the schools and community centers in each county. And we just had one a couple of weeks ago that was called Come Alive. And a lot of our teachers go out to these different schools and different facilities, and they work with the kids for several weeks, sometimes a month at a time, learning the lines and the songs. And then we bring them all to the theater for one big performance. And that's usually a free event open to the public. It's a lot of the parents and, family members that come out to support that, but everybody is welcome. And we always put those up on our website when we have them coming out. So just make sure everybody's going to lakeworthplayhouse.org periodically and seeing what we have coming up. Even some of the children's show productions, they're only $5, $10 for the tickets, and everybody comes out and has a great time. The kids love to see the people in the audience smiling and laughing and singing along. So there's always something for everybody. Just make sure you're checking us out on a regular basis to see what we're offering.
And important you bring that up. I wasn't aware of that you all did that, but you never know what kid was in that show and they then decided to become an actor or a costume designer or a set designer or something, right?
Absolutely. It sparks a lot of people's imaginations and, gives them an idea of where they want to take their life, When I was a kid, my grandmother used to take me to the Burt Reynolds Theater up in Tequesta. We lived around.
Really?
And I used to love it. Those are some of my fondest memories as a child, is going to see the shows with my grandma during the summer.
Oh, I went to many of the Burt Reynolds Theater. Oh, yes, before it became the malls. But, absolutely. That's where because at that time there wasn't a Kravis and there wasn't a lot of the other theaters. So, and we had lived in Jupiter, so that was a perfect thing for us. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think what you just said is important. It's the kids, they have those memories. And I wish that more parents would take their kids to the theater. A lot of them, they wind up going to movie theaters, and it's just not the same.
Not the same at all. Like the kids just did a summer camp performance of SpongeBob the Musical, and it was great. I would watch it 100 times over. Those kids were so super. I
Yeah.
mean, my daughter was actually in there. She had 3 roles. This was her second show that she's done. She did Aladdin, Aladdin and His Wonderful Magical Lamp a couple months back, but this was her first main stage production.
Wow.
Those kids had the times of their lives. My daughter still walks around the house singing the songs.
Well, that's great, Justin, to know that. I wasn't aware of, all right, so your kids, watch out. She may be an actress coming there and performing. That's wonderful. Let me do this again. Get your pencils out. We want you to buy the tickets. 586-6410. That's always area code 561, of course. Again, 586-6410. And as Justin said, go on to their website. It's easy. It's LakeWorthPlayhouse.org and see what's going on. But when you have those events, those extra events, you ought to let us know. And then we'll put them in, we'll get that on too, because I think that older adults love to see the kids on stage.
Certainly, yeah, I'll be sure to forward all that along too.
Yeah, and I've been on your website, and you do a very good job with that. And the world is a website now, isn't it? It says what everything is. It's amazing. But let's go back over a couple of things you said. Coming up, of course, is the Great American Trailer Park musical, and just that name is so fantastic. And imagine what that's going to be. And then, of course, we talked about the shadow box, which you can go into the black box and see that. So you've got a lot there. Just it's funny. There you are, all together in your little street there. So much happening.
Yes, always. There's never a dull moment on Lake Ave. I'll tell you that.
Right. And let's just talk a little bit. We have another minute or two about. You do have something you haven't had before, where if you buy tickets, you can also buy tickets that include dinner.
Yes, we do have dinner and show packages. As I said before, we do partner with a lot of the restaurants right there on Lake Ave and Lucerne Ave, where we do a dinner and a show package. All that is ordered directly through the box office. When you call in, you can get them online or by calling the box office. And just let them know that you want to purchase the dinner and the show package. They'll give you a list of different restaurants that you can choose from, and they pair you up with your tickets. We send the reservation directly to the restaurant. They save the table for you. All you do is go there, give them your name, and everything's taken care of. It's a wonderful package, and a lot of people enjoy that. They make an entire night out of going out to dinner and the show. And, you can do it before the show, come a little bit early. Like I said, most the Friday and Saturdays are at 8 p.m. So you can come a little bit early and have dinner beforehand, or you can go out after. Shows are usually out by about 10 or 10:30 and get yourself a late dinner, or you can do the same on Sundays. The matinees start at 2 p.m. You can go about 4:30, 5 o'clock after the show and have a nice dinner on the Ave and make it a truly memorable weekend.
Justin, I think this is new. I didn't know you did this before.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a couple years now.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, since I came along, they were doing it, but we've, some of the businesses have went out of business over the course of the past couple of years, and ownership has changed, restaurants have changed. So we're trying to keep our partnerships fresh and make sure that we have availability at all of the desired restaurants there in downtown Lake Worth.
Yeah, I've lived in this area a long time, and Lake Worth was pretty sleepy for a long time. I mean, you had the theater there, but there weren't a lot of restaurants. There weren't fine dining there, but now it's all changed. And I attribute that to the theater.
Yes, yeah, I'm glad to have such great partnerships throughout the community.
Yeah, and the other thing I want everyone to know, it's very safe. It's very well lighted. and there's lots of people there on the street. And you can just park either, if you go earlier, right on the street, if not on the side streets. And then I think in the back, don't you have a parking lot?
Yes, directly behind the theater, there's a public parking lot. And also on the next block north, Lucerne, just behind that building, there's another parking lot. Plenty of parking downtown. If you can't find anything on the street, check behind the buildings.
Yeah, so there's a parking garage actually in the next street, isn't there? Is that not a parking garage or is just a parking lot?
There's a lot. I know there was some talk about putting a garage in, but I don't know if they've gotten that far yet.
I see. Okay. Well,
4 different parking lots, public parking lots back there.
Mm-hmm. And how many people can seat in the Lake Worth Playhouse if you had a full house?
Main stage is 300 seats, and then our black box is 60 seats.
Lots of traffic there.
Yes.
But as you said, you're trying to do a little social distancing. So I guess every show you have to see just how many people want to come. And then.
Right. Yeah, there's a cutoff, and the box office deals with a lot of that, at the cutoff point and knowing when we're kind of at capacity. So they keep tight reins on that.
And how about masks?
Masks, we recommend masks. Please, just for the safety of everybody. This virus that's out there, it's unfortunate. A lot of people are getting sick and have been sick, and we just all try to do our part to make sure that, we keep everybody safe. So we do strongly encourage the use of masks. Again, we know that some people have medical reasonings behind not wearing them, and we fully support that, but we ask if you're able to, please wear a mask.
Right. And you don't do anything about vaccination, though. Do you ask them, or are they tested at all? No.
We don't ask that.
Okay, but they have the mask. That's sufficient, that you just want them to wear that.
Yes. Yeah, we strongly encourage the use of masks.
Right. Well, that's fine. And, it's interesting, just as a side note, and we're going to have to, we've run out of time. I was just going to say that people who don't want to wear all that makeup, they just put a mask on and they look good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dan's back here to tell us that we've run out of time, haven't we? Thank you, Justin. I really appreciate your doing this with us. We all look forward to going to your theater.
Certainly. Thank you so much. And I'll get that ad over to you shortly, I promise.
Okay, I appreciate it. Bye, everybody. Be sure to go to Lake Worth Playhouse. Okay, we'll see you another time.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Talk soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.